Good morning and welcome in on this overcast, cloudy Friday morning. It's lovely to be joining you once again. Let me just fiddle with my phone and turn my phone onto silent and click across so I can see any comments. So come in, do pop on and say hello. Let me know if you're here. Do share out these videos with other people. Let other people know that we're here and having a good time. So who have we got? We've got Lisa, Div and Sarah are here with us. My phone tells me. So good morning, ladies. Lovely to have you join us. Now, literally, as I hit finish on the live yesterday, I heard the clonk on the door mat of the post, so it sounded quite a heavy clonk actually, so I thought, oh, I wonder what that is. So potted out, my husband had got a little parcel come through the door, and there was my catalogue. So that was very exciting. So this is the August to December mini catalogue that is going to be available for customers to buy from it is something like the 3rd of August, 3rd, 4th, something like that off the top of my head. 4th probably, looking in my diary. But yes, so from the beginning of August, you're going to be able to buy things from this catalogue. And there's some beautiful things in there. But as is always the rules, all I can show you at this stage is the front cover. You can have a bit of a peep at the front cover. It might give you a bit of a taste of some of the loveliness that is to come. Oh, and my phone has just told me I've got low battery. So bear with me. I'm going to leave you looking at that cover. Just 1 second. I forgot I hadn't been to plug it in overnight. Bear with me 1 second. You peruse that cover and I'll go and fetch a plug to plug my phone in. Right, we have a plug. Let's plug that in and make sure that we have power enough to keep us going. We don't want to be... Morning, Em. Happy birthday. We don't want to be running out of power, do we? Halfway through the morning. Let me just tuck that over there so that wire doesn't interfere with what you can see. So there we are. I'll move that away now. You've had enough temptation. So All Request Friday. And I've had a couple of people, I've had a message, so thank you this morning to say, oh, I can't believe it's the last of every morning. It is going to be very odd next week, not coming on every morning, but I do think I'm at a stage where I need to give myself a little bit more space in my day to get everything done, because otherwise it's feeling very frazzled trying to get everything done. But it doesn't by any means mean that you're not going to be able to come and join me in my crafty journey and with inspiration, because we'll definitely be here on a Monday morning, all being well, as long as there isn't anything else that interrupts us. We'll be here on a Friday morning. That's in the schedule, that's planned. I've scheduled to put up a video for you on a Wednesday morning, and then there are lots of other things that you can come and join me with. So even if you are not in the UK, I am setting up something I'm calling the Lily Pad Stamp Club, and that is going to be available. That is going to be a club that runs over an entire month, and the first one launches on the wrong month. Let me click back my calendar. I've moved my diary because I was looking at when you could order from the when you'd be able to order from the new catalogue. Right, so the Lily Pad Stamp Club goes live on the 20th of July, and there's going to be 2 ways that you can become a member of that exclusive club, and the club is going to be hosted in a Facebook group, and during the course of the month there will be 2 live Facebook classes, so very sort of similar to our Facebook lives, but I'll be doing at least 2 projects in each of those classes. I will post beforehand the project supply list that you would need to take part in that class in real time to craft alongside with me. So you'll have 2 classes within the course of that month. You will also get 8 further videos posted, and it's all going to be based around one particular suite of products. And the first one, the July running into August one, is going to be based around the Whale suite and the Whale of a Time, which is a beautiful, beautiful suite of products with stamp sets, a punch, fabulous papers, gorgeous colours, and so those videos are going to be, there's going to be at least one that is not a card, there's going to be at least one fancy fold, and then there'll be various other things with those videos. So lots and lots of different ways that you can use that product. So you've got 2 ways of joining the club. You can buy £45 or more worth of product from me, from the list that is already listed on the event page. So you can do that. If you buy £45 or more worth of product, you automatically get free entry into the Lily Pad Stamp Club for that month, and have lots of ways that you're going to be able to use those things that you've bought. Or alternatively, you can pay to be a member, and it's £12.50 UK prices. I have, I'm sure on the event, put sort of some alternatives, and it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can come and join me and pay your subscription and join me, because that is just about joining the club to have access to those classes, to those videos, to that inspiration, and lots of ways of using those products. So that doesn't matter if you are a customer in another country, it doesn't matter if you are a demonstrator in another country or a demonstrator in the UK. If you would like to be part of that club, you can be. So I will put the link to that club in this description of this video when I post that, and I will make sure some more things go up. Obviously, if you are in the UK, there's lots of other classes and things you can come and join me with, and as I say, there'll be those 2 lives, one on a Monday, one on a Friday, a video on a Wednesday, and lots of other little bits and pieces going up in the week. So keep watching the page. There'll be things that I'm putting on here. I just won't be coming on live every morning at 9, and it's going to be very weird for me, but it's been a really useful thing to be doing while we've all been so much in lockdown. But it feels as if things are starting to move a little bit, not entirely, and I don't think it'll be entirely for a long time yet to come, but keep watching and waiting. But let's get playing this morning. So All Request Friday, and we had the Snowman Builder Punch with the Snowman Season Stamp Set. We had the tulips with the Timeless Tulips, and we had the umbrella with Under My Umbrella. Boy, was it a mean fight. It was a fight to the end. It was very, very close, but actually the one that came out in the end was the tulips. I have noted, though, that the snowman was very, very close. So perhaps we'll bring the snowman back on one of these days, or perhaps I'll use him for a little video or something. But I'll do something with the snowman because he was very popular. People were obviously very keen to get Christmas crafting. So these pictures of people with their Christmas catalogues has got the juices flowing. So Timeless Tulips it was that won the poll. I've got a bit of a husky voice this morning. So what shall we do with the Timeless Tulips? So I've got a few bits just here. So I think we'll start off. Let's start off with a piece of some shimmery white cardstock. And I'm going to cut this to 1 going to cut it to 13.4, I think. And acrossways, I'm just going to grab a stitched circle die, like you do. It will make it 8.5. There is method in my madness. Why am I using a stitched circle die to measure what I want there? Okay, so there's our bit of shimmery white cardstock. Now, of course, shimmery white cardstock is our cardstock that has got a bit of a shimmer to it to start with. So although you can't really see there, and it's sometimes difficult, if you catch it in the light, it does have a very definite shimmer. It is very beautiful. You get a bit of a sparkle with it. So that's one reason why it's really lovely. And the other thing that it does is it will take being watercoloured, because it's a coated cardstock. It will take being messed about a bit with some water, so you can watercolour on it and those sorts of things without getting that pilling effect that you would on just standard cardstock. So that is one of the reasons that we love it. It's because we like it. You don't always want watercolour card to watercolour with. Now I've just picked up some Misty Moonlight, so we're going to have a bit of a play with the in colours with this one. And I've got our new water brushes, and I'm going to take this big fat one because I rather like this big fat one. And let's just give that a squeeze. Make sure we've got some water coming through. There we go. I'm going to just brush that over there. There we go. So we've added water over our card. And now we're going to, let's drop some water onto there. Now, it is quite nice in that the water doesn't gush out of it. You have got a bit more control over it. I'm just going to add some water to that. Oh, that's nicely splattered, isn't it, across there? And then I'm just going to do a watercolour wash on the back here. And this brush is so fabulous for doing this watercolour wash, because it's got that wide tip on it. Fab. Okay, I might actually take some of that and give that a bit of a sprinkle in the background, just for a bit of added something. Let's grab a bit of kitchen towel. You can see those colours coming out of that ink, can't you? You can see where it's a bit pink. And I've just splattered it. Right, so I'm just squeezing this. And just running some of that colour out of there. And let's clean up that block and any blobby messes we've got over there. Okay. I'm going to leave that to dry for a minute. Then I'm going to grab a piece of bumblebee cardstock. I'm just going to use my Simply Chamois and just wipe my fingers a little bit, because I can see that I'm going to be getting blue ink on everything if I don't. Right, so we're going to take some bumblebee and we're going to cut this to 14.4 by 10. So this is our standard sort of first size mat for us on a standard card base. And then I'm going to take an embossing folder. Now this is the Dainty Diamonds embossing folder, and this embossing folder is part of the Peony suite, and it is beautiful. So it is a 3D embossing folder. So we're going to need our adapter plate, or you're going to need some sort of adaptation to run that through your machine. Silicone mats are quite good as well. We just need to find what the right sandwich is. When our new machines are released very soon, it will come with all of the plates, including the plate, to do those adaptations. Now can you see that? It is just beautiful. The texture on it is fab. And if you turn it over, look, you can see how deeply embossed those dots are. So whether you want your dots going inwards or whether you want them raised, you've got both options. So that feels quite smooth, that side. This is decidedly bumpy, almost like braille, but it is beautiful, and a beautiful embossing folder. So that is the Dainty Diamonds, and that's part of the Peony suite, which we haven't played with. Lots of people have played with it. We haven't yet played with it on a live. It is gorgeous. And just a bit of a heads up, I think that the Peony suite is going to be the suite that I'm going to be using for the Lily Pad Stamp Club in August. So the next one, because I think it's a lovely suite, and you're going to want lots of inspiration of all the different ways you're going to be able to use it. Now I've just cut a piece of cinnamon cider there because I want to cut a circular frame, and I've got the stitched shapes dies here. So I've got the two biggest circles. So I just want to cut a frame out of some cinnamon cider. And a stitched frame at that. Just wiggling and making sure I'm happy with the alignment on those before I run it through the machine. So here we are, we have a nice stitched circle there that I can use on another project. I have my nice stitched frame just there that I'm going to use on this project. So the stitched shapes were the first of our stitch shapes to come out. Mine are actually an old set, but you get the circles, you get the ovals, and you get the squares. Really, really useful little set of dies to have. So we're going to have our stitched frame go on there. So now we need some tulips, because after all that was the whole point of the exercise, was that we were going to be playing with tulips. So this is a beautiful stamp set. The stamped images on it are gorgeous. So I think we'll have a large tulip. I think we'll have a small tulip. We'll have some valives. And some of the stems. Okay, what I am going to do is I'm not going to stamp those stems direct onto the card, because I've watercoloured the background, and obviously that would muddy a little bit the colour that I would put on the top. So I am going to cut the stems out, as well as punching out those tulips. So we're sticking with our in colours. So my leaves and stems I'm going to do in Just Jade, and my tulips I'm going to do in Bumblebee and Magenta Madness. So let's, in fact we can probably pick both those up. Let me get a mat. Yes, they'll come along that way. So let's ink up these stems in Just Jade. And I'll do a couple. Don't know how many I'll need, but now there's some stems. Give those a bit of a clean up. With my Simply Chamois. Just pop them on the top of the box there for now. And then we'll take our tulips, and we've got a larger one and a smaller one. I've got a mask there that I did some masking obviously somewhere along the line, and I think we'll have a large look at that, isn't that just beautiful? So that's just one stamp of that stamp, and you get all that sort of layered detail. Don't know how many we're going to want. Let's go with 3. You can always save them for another project. So we'll give that a bit of a clean up, ready for our next one. And then we want our little tulip, and I think we'll do that one in Bumblebee. So again, just beautiful. Let's just do a couple of small ones. And then we'll have some leaves. Just looking to see if I've got another. Oh, come here. Just do 3 of those. And a couple of these flatter ones. I'm also going to take that other leaf and do a couple in Magenta Madness, just in case we want to 3D up some of our tulips. Okay, we've got lots of ingredients now. Let's put the lid on some of these ink pads so we don't rest our arms in them. And I'm going to start from this end, because if I start from that end, this punch is going to punch halfway through that tulip, and we don't want that happening. So just line that up and punch. We have one tulip. And 2 tulips. And 3 tulips. To cut that excess off there, so we can get our punch back in again. And then this time, starting from the other end, for exactly the same reason, we'll punch out that leaf and that leaf. And while we've still got, oh, we've got one more leaf on here. Actually, strips of card like this are a really good idea if you've got parts of punches like this that you want to punch out. You're much better going with a strip of card. We'll have that one, and last but not least, that one. So that's our punching done, and then the rest of it we are going to have to fussy cut. Morning Janet, morning Jane, if I haven't said morning. Snip that off. Now, of course, the other bits we have got a bit of a white border around, so we'll leave a bit of a white border around these as well. One. Two. And 2 more different shaped leaves. Hi Janice. We're just fussy cutting some of the tulips. So we're probably past tulip season here in the UK. It may be that elsewhere in the world you're just coming into tulip season, of course. But they are just beautiful. And there's no reason why you can't start using them for lots of other things. I've seen a lot of people use them as jellyfish. So turned round this way and sort of giving them fronds underneath, so that would fit in quite nicely with the whale suite. Looking at that one, if you made it black, you could almost turn it into a Darth Vader helmet. That's very random. Perhaps I need to lie down in a darkened room. But you can quite often see other things, so you don't have to. Just because it says tulip on the box doesn't mean that you always have to use it as a tulip. Interesting to know if anybody else has used them for anything else. And there's one of our stems. So they don't take too long to cut out, particularly when you're giving them a border, because you're not getting into any knobbly edges. round we come. And we'll go with this last one. I don't know whether we'll need them all or not. We'll decide as we are flower arranging in a minute. Ooh, flick. So we've got lots of bits. Lots of bits of tulips. Some we've cut out, some we've punched out. But they are just such beautiful stamped images. Now what I'm thinking is we're going to have some, we might need to trim some of these down. We're going to have our stems sort of coming underneath our frame. Sort of at a variety of angles somewhere along the line. And then we're going to have our tulips sort of on the top, coming over the top of our frame. This little one here, and we want that one behind, or so something like that. And then we'll have our leaves coming over the top too. We shall see. And then we can also, if we want to, 3D up a couple of these tulips. A bit like that. Looking quite good. Let's find I'm going to score this all the way down at 10.5. Whoop, whoop. Cut it across at 14.9, and then I've got 2 card bases. One that I've just somehow managed to get a green inky blob on, but that's okay because we can cover that up. And that comes on there. And I think we could also have, I might bring out some more of that gingham bumblebee ribbon. Let's get sticking. So, a new glue, some dimensionals. I don't know if we want any glue dots, but let's have them just in case. Okay, we are armed. Morning, Doreen. We're playing with tulips this morning. So I might just trim that down a little bit just to lose the, just a smidge, just to lose the very white bit on that side. Not worried about being a little bit of white, but that was sort of like a big chunk. So this is now dried, and it's really interesting how that's given all that different colour. Where we splattered it, it's sort of gone quite pink. It's brought out the pink pigments in the blue ink. So yeah, quite interesting, multi-tonal, but that was only using the misty moonlight. So I'm going to stick that to that embossed background, that embossed bumblebee background. So I am going to give that a good press down, because we have card that has been watercoloured onto an embossed background. Something like making life easy for yourself. What we could have done, of course, is sort of stuck that down and then embossed the whole lot and had the whole lot textured. I think we need just a smidge more glue along this edge. Okay. Just stick these. I'm going to lay that there for now, and decide how we want these stalks to come. I think about like that would be quite good, wouldn't it? So let's literally hold them like that and put some glue on the back here. Do with coming down. Am I going to get them to come down just a smidge, or have I been just a tad too clever there? No, I think I'm going to leave them. We can always put the flowers over the top. Just move these around slightly while we've got a bit of wiggle room. Fab. And then let's stick down our frame. It won't matter if the tulips go over the edge of the about like that. I think we will stick this one down with glue. I'm going to stick this one behind it with glue. This little one on the front will have some dimensionals. This Magenta Madness is a fabulous colour, isn't it? Such a pop. You can have a little dimension on that one. And we'll have a dimensional on that one. Then we've got these little side pieces. So it's just exactly the same as the leaf pieces, only we've stamped them to match the tulip. And then we can use those to give us a bit of 3D just there. And the same on the other side. Then some leaves. Serious flower arranging going on here. So these ones are being popped up. This one I think I'll add some glue to. And have that one coming up in there. And we have got some more somewhere, so I'm wondering whether to have another one. I'm going to have another one coming up that way. Going to tuck it under there. I'm just going to snip off that end. And just tuck that end underneath there. I think we'll have a bow of gingham ribbon. Oh, what happened there, Helen? Missed that one totally. Let's have a I think I need perhaps to lose some of my glue dot carrier paper. There seemed to be an awful lot just there. The dimensional back stuck to my finger. And then we could just do with a little greeting on there, couldn't we? Let's stick it down to our card base. So we've managed to get all of the in colours in there somewhere along the line. A bit of a sneak of cinnamon cider in the stitched circle. Perhaps do with having a bit of stitched circle showing at the top there. So greeting. We've got various things in here. And what a beautiful difference a single life makes. Hello, happy birthday. You've got happy Easter in there. Not quite ready for happy Easter. Happy Mother's Day. So sort of nice sort of sympathy card. You can use that for all sorts of things. What shall we have? Let's have a get well soon. I have to give that a bit of a snip. And what colour to go with? Perhaps we'll use cinnamon cider. Going to trim that round and decide I'll just have it as a little get well soon. There we go. So an in colour Tranquil Tulip card. We've used our new water brushes for the watercolour wash background, so that was fun. Right, I've got another one here, because obviously we can't just have one. We have a blank on standby. Don't you remember in Celebration they had that beautiful bright designer series paper with all the tulips on that you could actually punch some of the tulips out of if you wanted to. It was really beautiful. So I figured this morning we could either mourn the fact that we could no longer get that beautiful paper with all the tulips on, or we could attempt to make our own. So as we're not going to sit here sort of wallowing in self-pity, we're going to make our own. So I am thinking I'm going to cut a piece of Whisper White card that is 14.4 by thank you, Glenda. Car base is 10 wide. I'm going to go 6.5 and then see how we go. Right, so what I've got is some nice bright colours here. I've got a Poppy Parade, I've got Coastal Cabana, Gorgeous Grape, Flirty Flamingo, Daffodil Delight. Now I think I'm going to take the smaller of the tulips actually. And let's just stamp them in random bright colours over this. Piece of card. I may need to come back in and do more, we will see. But there's some Poppy Parade. A bit of Coastal Cabana. Morning, Anita. Let's have some Gorgeous Grape. sure there's definitely no colour left on that, because I'm going to come in with some Daffodil Delight. I'm feeling we need that to make it pop, and then we will fill in with our last colour. Just love these stamps. I just love the detail in them. They're just so beautiful. And obviously you can go in with your blends or with your watercolour pencils and add in a bit more shading and things. Just really beautiful. So we're going to have Flirty Flamingo there, and some sticking out just there. Could really done with one in there, couldn't I? Never mind. Might just, because I'm only doing little bits, do a couple of those. So we've got lots of multicoloured tulips there. Ooh. Let's turn that round the right way. I'm thinking, I was wondering whether I should do some leaves, but I don't think I will. I think I'm going to go in with something like, who's got a nice little spotty splatter? The Dressed to Impress has a nice little spotty stamp in it. Just want to add in something else into there. So let's go in with some spots, and I think we'll do those. To do those in Coastal Cabana, I think. Just pop that back in there. And then possibly just a little something else. Though I might make it that's a bit too big, I think. You could come in with some little butterflies from, let's take that little butterfly just there from the Beautiful Moments stamp set. Just wanting little somethings to add in. So many of our stamp sets have those just little feature bits. So let's take this little butterfly just here. Oh, we'll have that one just there, shall we? Doesn't want to stick. And we'll just add in a few little very random Daffodil Delight butterflies. So there we are, we've got like a piece of be able to take more time with what you were going to do. And that is going to come on onto our card front. But we want something else on our card front. We want something down here. So I thought we would take, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colours here. I think if I cut all of these, I'm going to cut them to about 3 centimetres long and about 2.5 centimetres wide. Centimetres long. I don't know why I've got my old trimmer out, but I'm with my new trimmer. Two and a half centimetres. Three centimetres by 2.5. That is not 3 centimetres, that is 3 inches. 3 inches by 2.5 centimetres, which is about 3 inches by about an inch. For goodness sake, woman. So yeah, make that 3 inches by an inch and you'll be about right, or about 7.5 centimetres by about 2.5 centimetres wide. Probably is quite a bit longer than we want them to be really, but it just gives us something to play with. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have these strips coming down the side here. We need them to be fairly evenly spaced. This is just randomly putting them on, and we're going to have this coming over the top. And what I might do is choose a matte colour for this. So I'm going to trim this down just slightly so that it is 13.9. And I'm going to get a piece of Poppy Parade. And we'll have that so that it is, what was that? 6.5. So we'll have this so it's 7 by 13.9. Nearly said 4. And that will just give that a bit of a, help that to pop off the side there as well. Okay. So I'm going to take that and lay that where it needs to go. And we know that the top of, so I'm looking around for a pencil. I had pencils galore on here. Typically the only one that is now in view is one that is not sharpened and broke off. Just one moment while I, ha. So we're going to lay this up here let's stick that on so it's not going to wiggle. Like that. We're going to lay that on there so that it's quite nicely evenly spaced, and then if I put a little pencil mark there and a little pencil mark there, I shall know that's where I need to stick my first and last strip of card. So we'll have the first one and we'll cover up our little pencil mark. This one just there, and we'll have our last one just there, and we'll eyeball this one to go in the middle, and then we'll have our other two, one just there, and one just there. And we'll take our panel and add that on the top with some dimensionals. Let me just take my scissors and snip these ones, getting towards the end of the sheet. Actually, if there's a have a bit of ribbon coming round there. Oh, and this is the Daffodil Delight ruched ribbon. Hi Sarah. I've got people all popping up as if they're just started watching, so I don't know whether you all went away and came back or whether Facebook has just decided to let me know that you're still there. I don't know. So let's put these in here. Like this, and we'll take those backs off. And we'll leave a bit of a gap that side. Let's have a ruched Daffodil Delight ribbon. Really needs to lose some of this carrier sheet on this glue dot. And we just need some sort of a greeting on there. Let's go happy birthday. And let's have Poppy Parade. Let's trim that off at a bit of an angle. Just going to put a couple of dimensionals on this end and a glue dot on the other when I can find them. It would help if I took the backs off those, wouldn't they? Makes them far more sticky. There we go. So, the winner of today's All Request Friday, by the merest, I think it was one vote. I think there was only one vote in it. At one stage I thought I was going to be doing one card with one and one in the other because we've got a draw. But as I say, I will come back in and do something else with the snowman one, because that was obviously also a very popular choice. But there we are, we've taken those tulips, we've done one completely in colours, we've done a bit of watercolouring, we've used that gorgeous embossing folder. So we've got our in colour tulips, and then we've got one that we've created our own sort of background paper and flashes of coloured card, just to make it really nice and bright and fun. So a couple of ways you can use those gorgeous tulips and the punches. I'm sure there are many, many more. Really lovely set, really lovely stamp. So thank you. I shall be back on Monday morning, so it will be almost as if nothing has changed. It won't be until Tuesday that it feels different when I'm not here. But yes, I shall be back on Monday. As I say, from next week I shall be here live on Monday morning, and I shall be here live on Friday morning, and there'll be a video going up on Wednesday. So do look out for that. And thank you all for being with me over these last what feels like years, as we've been completely in lockdown, as we start to sort of try and build what's going to be normal going forward. Yeah, I look forward to you joining me for many other things. So see you soon. Have a good weekend.